So I did a quick video a couple days ago showing you guys the Ubuntu 22.04 LTS desktop edition. Now I want to cover the server edition. So let's get to it. What's up guys, this is Josh back with another video, and today I wanted to show you guys Ubuntu 22.04 LTS server edition. And this is the latest long-term support release of Ubuntu. And I did a video on the desktop edition a couple days ago, and today I wanted to go down and cover the server edition. And this is how you can set up a web server or DNS server or something on your network. It's an awesome server edition. I actually use it on my network to handle a lot of these types of tasks. And there is also, CentOS and all these other flavors or distributions of Linux that you can run as a server. I've even ran Orch servers, but Ubuntu is something that I've always went back to, to manage different things on my network, because it's easy to use and it's the first distribution that I ran into when I first learned about Linux. And so I really like Ubuntu for my servers, and this is what I always use. So let's go on and do a quick review of the server edition, show you guys how to install it. It's very simple. If you haven't installed it before, you'll basically see how easy it is to install, because the process is super simple, just like the desktop environment. But I know some people get intimidated by the command line, but it actually has an installer that pops up as soon as you get to it. So let's go on and hop over to my virtual machine and go through the install. Okay, cool. So I'm at ubuntu.com. I wanted to show you guys this first before I go through the install. I just wanted to show you where to get Ubuntu Server Edition from. So basically all you have to do is go up to the top where it has the drop down downloads, click that, hit Ubuntu Server, and this will allow you to get the different versions of the Ubuntu server for you. They have an IoT version, for Raspberry Pis and all that good stuff, but the main x86 64 version you can get under here. And all you have to do is click on manual server installation, and that'll show you the current release, which is 22.04, and all you have to do is hit download right there. Now they do have alternative downloads. Like I said, you can go through and check it out. You can download it via BitTorrent, you can download it directly from their system, as well as other versions like the IoT version and all that good stuff. The ORM version is down here. I'm sorry, the architecture, you know what I'm saying? So, and also I want to cover what it says right here. It says the OS security guaranteed until April 2025, and that's typical. Every LTS or long-term release is normally 3 years of security guaranteed. So they'll provide all the security patches and all that good stuff, and then extended security maintenance until April 2030. So that's why whenever I recommend a distribution of Linux, I always point people to the LTS, which is a long-term support release, especially when it comes to servers. If you have critical data or critical applications that you want to run on the system, you want to have somewhat of a security, maintenance and guarantees with the long-term support releases that you have. So now let's hop over to the virtual machine right fast and we can get started. Okay, cool. So I have the virtual machine, started. Let's go down and start it up. I want to show you guys what will actually pop up. As you can see, first thing that pops up is almost like a grub menu. You can test the memory, and you can try Ubuntu or install the operating system. So let's press enter, and then this thing will get a little bigger across the screen so you guys can see everything as I walk through the installation process. And it's very simple, you can actually play around with the operating system. And let's wait for this thing to actually come up, because it's gonna roll right into the installer, and boom, there we go. That's the installer. The first thing it's gonna ask you for is your language, which I'm gonna select English. I'm in the US, so let's press enter. And then you have your keyboard layouts that you can select. So English US for me, good to go. Now there are two versions of Ubuntu, or two ways to install it, two different types of operating systems that you can install. You have the normal Ubuntu Server, which is the default install, and it comes with all the packages that they curated, you know, for this release of Ubuntu. So it'll have all the packages. Now they do have a Ubuntu Server. It's a minimalized. It's basically the minimal amount of packages for this system to actually operate. So you can install that, and it's kind of funny what it says right there. It says this version has been customized to have a small runtime footprint in environments where humans are not expected to log in. So that's what that is right there. So all we have to do is hit enter. You see the done at the bottom. That's what we're clicking on. And then the next thing, this is your network. It automatically sets up the networking to DHCP, so it pulls an IP address on your network, and so we could just press enter, boom. And then this is your proxy settings. So you can select whatever proxy. If you have a proxy set up and you want to run it through the internet through, you know, a proxy, then this is where you put that address at. But we don't have one, so I'm not gonna roll with that. Let's press enter. Now this is the mirrors. This is where, you know, everything is downloaded from, as far as the repository, basically Ubuntu repositories. So just press enter. That's good to go. You really don't want to mess with that link. Just leave it the way it is, and it should work properly. Now the next thing is setting up our disk drive. As you can see, I have a 32 gigabyte local disk that it recognized. It's a virtual hard disk. I gave it 32 gigabytes of space. It's going to automatically select LVM, which is the logical volume, you know, management groups. And then you can also set up LVM groups with Lux, and that's the encryption for the hard drive. And that's good in case someone steals your server or steals your system, you know, and it's shut down or whatever, then they can't get into your data on the system. Now if they know the passwords, you know, to get past this, that's the only way they can get to the actual files on the server. But otherwise, when you shut down the system, or it's shut down for whatever reason, let's say someone steals your server, it's obviously going to lose power, so it's going to encrypt that hard drive, you know what I'm saying? And then when it boots up, it's going to ask you for the password to decrypt the hard drive so it can boot up, and it won't be able to boot up if you don't know what that password is. So just make sure you keep a track of what that passphrase is, and you're good to go. But we're not gonna set up encryption. We're just gonna roll with the defaults, but you can also do custom storage layout. I know some people, they like to separate their home directory or the etc directory, put it on a different partition. You can do all that, but the defaults is fine for what we're trying to do. So I'm gonna just go down to the bottom, hit done, boom, and we're good to go. And this is the summary of everything that's gonna happen. It basically breaks down the disk, like how it's gonna set it up. You got a root location, you know, on the LVM logical volume, as well as the boot partition, and then it breaks down everything else. So just go down and hit done, and we are good to go. And it'll go through and install the operating system. It's also going to ask us for our user account. So let's go down and create our root user account. So I'm gonna name it Josh, and then you can also give the host name or provide a server name, which is essentially the host name. So I'm gonna name it UBS22. So that basically stands for Ubuntu Server 22. That's the way I always name my servers. But let's create our username right fast, and then type in a super secure password for your system. And this is for your account to log into the system. You know what I'm saying? By default, Ubuntu doesn't have the root account activated. It doesn't have a password on it. It's not activated. Can't nobody log into it unless you activate it. So that's why it forces you to create a sudo account. So let's move on to the next step. And this is just to allow a SSH server to be installed. So the application open SSH server. So you definitely want to install this on there, especially if it's a remote server. You definitely want to have open SSH installed. And once you get into the server the first time, you want to go on and secure SSH, which I've done videos on it in the past, like fail to ban, and just simply making some configuration change to the open SSH server to prevent people from actually getting into it. So let's hit the space bar. That's what I did to actually select it, so to put that X on there. The next thing is going to ask you to import your SSH identity. So if you have SSH keys already set up, and if you don't know what that is, then just ignore it for right now. But I'll do a video showing people how to set up SSH keys so you can have a passwordless login via SSH over the command line, and you can log into the server from your laptop without typing in a password using secure keys. So you don't have to worry about someone standing over your shoulders and watching what keys you type in order to log into your SSH server. You can set it up where the only way they can get in is if they have access to your computer via SSH key. So let's press enter. We're good there. Now the next thing, this is going to ask you for applications that you want to install on the system, and they have a whole bunch here. You can set up a Nextcloud right away. Docker, I'm not sure why they took a lot of the other services out of there. I know back in the day they used to have like a lamp stack. You can get that installed right away, but they do have like Docker, you know, Canonical live patching, Wormhole, AWS client, Google Cloud SDK, Postgres server, SQL server. I'm not sure why they took the other ones out, like Apache, MySQL, you know, PHP. I know a lot of that stuff used to be in here of applications that you can install. I think they're putting a lot more things cloud based, or maybe I had a wrong version that I downloaded, but that's what's on this ISO, you know what I'm saying? So probably one of the other ones have more features. I'm not 100% sure, but based on what I know, this is the software that you have available to you to install right out the box. But any other software after this, once the server is installed, you can just install from the command line. You know what I'm saying? You can set up a LAMP server, you can set up, you know, whatever you want on here. Install WordPress, you know, whatever. So let's hit done there. I'm not going to install anything, and in the background it was actually already installing. As you can see, it's probably mostly done with the install. It's doing updates at the moment. So because at the top, if you see, it says install complete, but what it's doing though is installing security updates to the system. And then you'll know at the bottom, like right here, that'll change from cancel update and reboot. It'll say reboot, and that'll let you know that the install is done as well as the updates. Now, like I said, you can cancel these updates, but I recommend you just let it go through and let it finish, and then I'll be back when it's time to reboot. Okay, cool. So the install is complete, and like I said, right here it's going to just show you reboot now at the bottom. And so all we got to do is go down to it and press enter. That'll reboot the server, and it'll come through. It's going to try to remove the CD drive. That's typically what used to happen back in the day when we used to put it on a CD, a disk. We'll put the ISO on a disk, put it in a computer, and what that is trying to do is open up the CD drive. But this is a virtualized system, so you know, obviously you can't do that, but that's exactly what it's trying to do. Just showing you guys what it's actually trying to do. It's trying to extract that CD out so we can take it out, close the CD drive, and then reboot the server, you know, from there. But let's wait for it to come back up, and then we will have us a fresh Ubuntu 2022 LTS install. And then I'll cover like a few things. One of the first things you want to do is actually obviously log into it, and then run your updates, because I'm sure it may have some updates. Yeah, security patches. And we can type sudo apt updates, and then ampersand sudo apt upgrade, and this will run all the updates on the system for all the packages that are installed. And then at that point, once it's fully up to date, you want to go through and start configuring your server. So for instance, like what I talked about earlier, configuring your SSH portion of it to block people from, you know, brute forcing the system. That's something that a lot of people like to do I don't know if it's like hackers or people just running botnets out there. Whenever they see a new server go online, they immediately, especially if it has access to the internet and a public IP address, they will immediately see it and start running brute forcing on it. So you want to go down and protect your SSH server by setting up your SSH keys, you know, and changing some configurations in there in order to make it a little bit more secure. You know what I'm saying? Some people change it to have a non-standard port because most of those bots, you know, that are running or brute forcing machines that are running, they're basically looking at the default port, which is port 22. That's SSH default port. Some people do 2222, you know, change it to that, or they change it to 2020 or some port that's open that'll allow you. They'll open up that port and then set the configuration to use that port or listen to that port, you know, for connections. But I'm gonna do a whole nother video showing you guys that, but I just wanted to show you guys how to get it installed, get it up and running. And what this is that popped up right now, this was during those updates. This is basically asking if you want to restart those services. But a lot of times what I typically do is reboot the server anyway, especially after the first, you know, boot up and first updates. I always reboot the server anyway. But that's pretty much it. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Hopefully that gets you up and running with using Ubuntu Server 22.04 LTS. It's not really much more I can show you. It all depends on what you're trying to install on the server or what you're going to use the server for. I could go through some, I don't know, some security advice, you know, that you could change, or configurations that you could change on the server, but I'll just save that for other videos in the future. But this is another awesome release of Ubuntu Server. It's not much different from the last one other than the updated packages and all that stuff. It pretty much runs the same, and like I said, it's all based on what you're using the server for. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Please like, share, and subscribe to the channel. If you have any questions, leave comments down in the comments below, and of course, keep it techie.